there. Welcome
Thank you. I'm the first guest.
to the abode, to the podcast, to the show.
Yeah, episode one.
Episode 1, episode 0, pilot episode.
I love it.
So, you've been running a podcast for a little bit. I've always, for the past several years, kind of had an idea in the back of my mind to start a podcast, but never really had never made the
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah, I would say, to start off is just finding a topic, a niche thing to talk about, right? Yeah, I do have a podcast, but there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that you gotta kind of figure out, like just the setup in general. I was
Yeah, we got
that's a lot of it.
like 20-minute setup just now. Yeah.
But yeah, you don't really need a lot. Like a lot of people think you need this huge studio and all
Studio.
this, expensive cameras and stuff like that. But really, you just need an iPhone, some good lighting, some good audio, good microphone, and just press record.
Here we are. I got
Hmm.
this old laptop and then an iPhone over there
Yeah.
running it.
So walk me through it. What made you want to start one of these?
Yeah, I guess kind of the direction I wanted it to go because I know there's a ton of content out there, a ton of podcasts talking about, and kind of the niche that I see myself kind of fit into is kind of like the health, fitness, longevity, and obviously that's very popping off right now. Say hello. Definitely a lot of content out there already, but I wanted to kind of stay in the lane of more like mindset and kind of your upbringing and how that's affected your habits today, maybe your mindset
Yeah.
towards your health today, or your relationship with food or relationship with health in general, stuff like that. So that's kind of the avenue I wanted to take it rather than just like, yeah, in these peer-reviewed studies, we found this, and that's why magnesium is better than vitamin D. And it's just like there's so much of that out there already. I just wanted to kind of more than the facts, just kind of find people's stories so that people listening could have something to relate to and be like, okay, I resonate with that or I relate to that story or that background.
Gotcha.
And hopefully that can bring some guidance. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So a little bit about my background. So my dad, military father. I wouldn't say my household was too active, but in high school he really did a lot of wrestling, a lot of I believe he did track. Also he did some what else did he do? I think he did basketball. He just was super active, but also he did a lot of computer science. He did chess club. So when he ended up having children, me being the oldest, I'm pretty sure he wanted me to do a lot of active things in high school.
Mm-hmm.
At least he tried to push for it. But me, I mean, I was like a skinny kid in high school, but I never really worked out, right? I was more of a gamer. I played chess for a little bit, but I never really found sports to be that entertaining or worthwhile. Even working out at the gym, I never really took it seriously. But now, as I'm getting older and I got like an office job and I sit down a lot, it's starting to be more important, right? So now I have to do a ton of research, and the relationship that I have with food and exercise is like wildly different now. Before, everyone I know when everyone was growing up as kids, they had like ramen noodles and just like Twinkies and
Just
like
whatever's available.
yeah, whatever's
Yeah.
in the gas station, the corner
Yeah.
store, right?
Yeah.
But now I couldn't even imagine doing any of that. Now I'm like, oh, that's a cheat day. Which just before it was just like my standard diet almost, right?
Right.
But yeah, as you get older, you start to have to take care of your body a little bit more, put a little bit more conscious effort into it. And now I'm understanding it's not just a hobby that people did growing up, it's actually a good foundation to really healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, lifestyle, yeah.
Mhm.
Did you try any sports? Did your dad get you into any sports and then kind of tried out for a little bit?
Not really. I looked at wrestling, I was like, yeah, that's not for me. Uniforms, not it.
You want the leotard?
Yeah, I wanted to do track, I wanted to do tennis, but I was like very shy and reserved growing up. So even though I had those interests, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Mm.
If I could go back, I would definitely do it too. But yeah, I just mainly did chess. I tried robotics for a little bit, some coding classes. I did a ton of art though. Art was where I
Okay.
shined a lot.
Okay.
I'm more of a artistic type of guy where I really like the design and thought process behind why things are the way that they are. I'm pretty much a thinker, so now it's like trying to find the relationship between kind of managing overthinking and then in combination with action. So yeah, just like going to the gym a lot has taught me that there's just more to it than I thought it was before. But yeah, I wish I did some type of sports.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you grew up kind of skinnier. This dude grew up skinny. I was in that same boat. And you just kind of eating whatever because that's what kids do, and eating candy and all the things. What was kind of like the dinners at home if they're
So the dinners were really good, right? Our dinners were always home cooked meals, fresh food from the grocery store and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Most of the time, it was just like snacks and stuff. It's like even if you have like one healthy meal throughout the day, it's still, I mean, it doesn't make up for all the junk food that you
Yeah,
eat. But like it never caught up to me really.
hmm
And what I think it actually was since my metabolism was so high growing up, I didn't really have to manage it.
hmm
But I don't know if it's either adulthood or if it's when you turn 21, all you're doing is going to the bars and stuff and drinking and hanging out, or if it's the office job or a combination of all of them, right?
yeah, probably combo.
But yeah, there was, I mean, I used to walk around campus probably getting like 12,000 steps in a day.
Wow.
And now it's just 8 hours behind a computer and stuff. And I don't know, the lifestyle changed and then also with the body type as well. But I find it funny though, because now I'm on the opposite end, especially after COVID. COVID kind of hit me really hard. Because I'm not gonna lie, like it was so much news and information out there, I was very nervous about it. So I kind of stayed away from people and didn't really go outside. And then also everything was closed down. That was around the time Chick-fil-A was becoming really popular. And me and my cousin used to just go there, as often as we could, right?
hmm
But then yeah, I gained probably so much weight just during COVID alone. That's when I knew,
Yeah, a lot
like,
of people did
yeah.
not going outside.
hmm And I like bought a jump rope and tried to do a little bit of that here and there, but still, if you're sedentary, it's not really gonna do much really. 'Cause I think exercise is only 10% or something like that, and then the rest of it is just micro movements throughout the day.
Mm.
But yeah, after COVID, I just like looked at my body. I was like, I need to get stronger, and I need to cut. Um, so now I feel like I gotten really good at doing the research for the strength training and stuff. Now when I'm working out, I'm like, okay, a lot of these workouts are super easy, and I'm
You're pretty
lifting weight.
strong, yeah.
Yeah, that I never thought I was going to be able
Yeah,
to. Even when we did the like rows at 225 bench press, right?
yeah.
I just stayed dedicated and committed to it, and then within 6 months, I was able to actually bench that weight.
You hit it? Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
which I never thought I was
I
gonna be able
I
to.
I don't think I followed up with you and talking about
Yeah,
that.
dude.
When did you do that?
That happened in like June.
Oh,
That's
wow.
when I did the last one. So it was about 6 months. I think I started it in January, and then every month I did a check-in video. I was like getting closer and getting closer. I actually got it on my page too. And
Nice.
then yeah, I think it was like June or July, right before my birthday. I like benched it the 225, and
Was that like
somehow I got it
one
done.
rep?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one rep, and I was like, okay, mission accomplished.
Not touching the bench press ever again.
Yeah, but now I just need tips on basically how to cut, right?
hmm
Because cutting is like a different thing. I feel like I was unintentionally bulking for 6 months,
Mm.
but now I'm like, okay, I want to get shredded, but that involves cutting, which is a lot of consistency and measuring of your calorie intake.
Yeah, it's a lot of tracking the calories and the protein. So when you kind of made that switch to go, all right, I want to get fit. I want to take care of my body better. You had a lot of like strength that you didn't know about. Where do you think that came from, and how did that kind of happen? Because a lot of people they're like, oh, I don't want to. They're maybe like nervous about starting a fitness journey. Because they're like, I'm
hmm
gonna be weak. Everybody in there is gonna be moving this weight.
hmm
Be over here with the 10-pound dumbbells.
That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started pretty low down there too, because again, I had no type of high school sports or
Yeah,
active
yeah.
lifestyle before then, right? So the gym was just very new to me.
Everything new.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of personal training at the beginning at EOS. So there was this one time where one of the trainers were having me do, what are these, shoulder raises or something like that. And I had to pick up the like 5 or 10 pounds, right? And I'm doing it, and then I saw one like kind of buff guy sitting next to me, he, like smirked or something, or made like a comment. Um, and I just like brushed it aside. But then I
Dang.
was like, it just takes time to get there, and it's easy for you to sit there and, look down on somebody else who's
Yeah.
just starting. I don't know. It kind of motivated me to kind of prove him wrong. And now when I'm in the gym and I'm not gonna say I'm one of the strong guys in there now, but uh, I got a lot of respect for the people that are heavier and stuff that are actually making the commitment to go to the
Mhm.
gym because I know it's a lot of social pressure.
Yeah. Probably feeling a lot of eyeballs on them
hmm
walking around. Definitely a lot of judgment. Yeah, that's crazy. That dude would kind of like smirked at you. Like
Yeah.
usually, like the really fit disciplined people are some of the nicest people, but every now and then you get one of those that's just like full of themselves.
Hmm.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, but I mean, like the lateral raises, like you don't even like. I'll use like 15 pounds or something. Like
I
you don't need a
know.
lot.
Exactly.
Like, and if you do, like sometimes I see people with like the bigger weights on the lateral raises, but like their form is just bad, and they're just trying to just show like, look how much weight I move, but they're like using their whole body and not even doing it
Exactly.
right, and so it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you know that your form is good and you're proven and you're slowly making those gains, it's like don't worry about what other people are
Hmm.
doing or looking at you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's good that you're able to just be like, I'm good without that.
Yeah, because when you're on a mission, like you're dedicated to do something, don't let people, trying to steer you away from that goal, right?
Mhm.
I mean, there's gonna be a lot of haters and stuff, people that make bad comments here and there. Really, that just says more about them than it does about you.
Yeah.
Just keep doing your own thing. But yeah, now that I'm one of the guys, I can do the 225 bench. I'm just like, dude, that's dope, and I got a lot more
Little
respect.
confidence unlock.
Yeah, I got a lot more respect for people in the gym. Before I just was like, oh, it's just a bunch of Chads in there,
Right?
whatever, brain dead.
They're picking up heavy
Yeah.
circles. Okay.
Hmm. There's a lot of personality traits that get unlocked when you are consistent in the gym. And then also it tells us like a unspoken story to other people too. Because when they see fit people, I don't think anyone is like, oh, that person's lazy or that person. It kind of just subconsciously lets people know you're dedicated and you live some type of healthy lifestyle. But yeah, I want to get there one day. That's what I'm starting to understand more about the gym. It's more than just lifting heavy stuff.
Yeah, so that gym for your brain a little bit. Kind of touching on that, going back to when you were able to kind of you had that guy smirk at you, you kind of put it out of your mind. A lot of people wouldn't be able to do that, or that would bother them a lot more. Like growing up, is that something that you were always just like confident in what you were about, what you were doing? And like, did you ever have people like smirk at you in chess club or other things that you were doing? And like, how did you learn to get that mindset? Because I feel like that's hard for a lot of people.
I mean, I've always been that shy, socially awkward kid. I'm still kind of like that too, but I don't know. I found out I have like this social battery that kind of shields me from a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And as I start doing more podcasts or post on Instagram, I'm able to sort of block that out and just be like, okay, this is what I need to do in this moment and just do it. Don't overthink it.
Mm.
I think a lot of the anxiety and stuff stems from introverts just overthinking things
Mm.
that really a lot of people probably are not even going to notice or even care about.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
yeah, but it does take work. It takes a lot of work. Yeah, I think one dude told me, he said, whenever you feel nervous, just reframe that in your mind from rather than being like nerves of fear, just being like, oh, this is my body just being really pumped and excited to do this.
Yeah, that's a good unlock. Yeah, that's just excitement nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it's for you too, but when you do public speaking, it's like the first minute or two, it's kind of like, oh, how do I, and then after that, it just flows
I'm
naturally.
just talking. Yeah.
Yeah, you forget about all the setup.
Yeah. I feel that. Like any public speaking setting, I feel like that's super true. Like just like sweating, heart beating fast, and kind of just like brain fog. But once you kind of get rolling, it's a little bit easier. Like, all right, I'm just talking. It's a little bit different for everybody, but I can relate to that.
One thing was super interesting, which I don't really quite understand this. I always thought bulking just came easy to everybody. Like all of this is eating. You just eat a bunch.
Yeah, gain weight.
Yeah,
Everybody gains weight.
everybody gains weight. But then I talk to some people, they're like, yeah, I'm trying to gain 10 pounds. I just can't do it. I'm like, bro, what? It's like I'm trying to
Guilty.
lose 10 pounds.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. Maybe everyone's body is different, or maybe it just really comes down to a science. I'm still kind of torn on which one it is.
I think a little bit of both. Obviously everybody's got their own metabolism. Maybe their body processes carbs a little bit different than yours. But I mean, if you're tracking, like, it's just a matter of consistency over
Yeah.
time. It's obviously like I've been trying to get to like 160 pounds for I don't know how long, but has my consistency been like perfect and dialed in this whole time? Like, no. Otherwise, I probably would have been there. Yeah. And obviously, there's little things I could probably tweak if I had like a nutritionist and personal trainer and all this stuff helping with that. But it's not necessary to get started and see marginal improvements, I would say, which I feel like a lot of people might use that as an excuse. Oh yeah, like, well, I just don't have the money for a personal trainer, and that's why I can't lose 5, 10 pounds. It's like not necessary. Like can be helpful, but yeah.
Yeah, like for me, I have the resources for a personal trainer, so it did work for me. But let's say I didn't. YouTube, the internet, there's so
Yeah,
much information
YouTube.
that's
There's so
free.
many like personal trainers on there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I try not to be, I don't know. I try not to be a douche, right? Because a lot of time, like, if you really want something bad enough, you just do it, right?
You just don't
Uh,
want it bad enough.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like if you don't, I mean, it just shows. If you don't want it that bad, then it's just like you're not going to get it.
Mm,
It's until you really want it, then you like put into the work, right?
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
even like
very
with my
true.
own goals, like I'm trying to get down and trying to lose like 10, 20 pounds, but it's like, oh, if it didn't happen yet, it's because I didn't want it bad enough. Just keeping things that simple and just that honest with yourself let you know, oh, this is not anyone else's fault but mine. No one to blame.
That's a solid mindset too, because I feel like a lot of people maybe if they have been trying something and trying, in their mind they've been trying, but going to the gym for 6 months, but they're not really putting in a solid effort. They're not really, doing what is necessary. They're just kind of showing up, and which is great, but to expect results when you know you're only putting in like 10% effort is
Hmm.
gonna kind of mess you up. So instead of like pointing blame at like, well, it's just my genetics. I can't lose weight. Like, how did you learn to just take ownership and be honest with yourself? Because that's hard for me. That's hard for a lot of people. Everybody just wants to point fingers and be like, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't really know. Maybe it's just my personality type. Maybe it's because I'm a overthinker or whatever. Could be my upbringing as well. It's so
Mm.
many different factors. But I would say my first role model was my father, and he grew up very like poor and didn't like have a lot of resources, right? But if he didn't make the choices that he did, no one else was going to do it, right?
Mm.
So I think I just respect the plan, right? I feel like everything is easier when you have a plan. And I think just understanding how his upbringing happened and the things that he had to do, even though he didn't want to do it, just shows me that, okay, if I need to do something right, I have to have a plan and also I have to want it bad enough, right? I can't ask for 100% of the reward if I only put 10% of the effort in.
Mm.
So that's just like another thing that I try to go for. But I think it just starts with people being honest with themselves, man. It's a whole nother topic about today's culture and stuff.
Mm.
From what I'm seeing, I think the main thing is people are too afraid to be confrontational and honest.
Yeah, definitely that.
It's like, would you want a friend around you that's always like, no matter what horrible decisions you're making, it's always like, you go, you're that bad, and whatever. And then you're just
You're
like,
just like wrecking your
yeah, you're
life, and they're
screwing your
like,
life.
"Yeah, you got it."
Yeah.
Like,
Or would you rather have that one friend? It's like,
you better stop that.
yeah,
What are you doing?
dude, that's not us. We can do so much more.
Yeah, yeah,
Is this
definitely the
you?
latter. Yeah,
Yes, exactly. But it takes somebody to be real and honest with you.
yeah,
And if you don't have that circle of people around you, it's very hard for you to get to wake up out of that amnesia as
yeah,
well.
yeah. That's true. Can you think of a specific experience or like an example that you saw your dad do just with being like honest and kind of like what you're talking about a little bit before? Because you mentioned you saw your dad's example, but is there like a specific moment or experience that you can call in that's like, oh yeah, this moment was a really good example.
Yeah, I remember him talking about the thing that snapped him out of it. I think he was around like 15 or 16 years old. And I think the biggest thing for him was sitting there playing the game or something, whatever system that they had back in the 80s or whatever. But he just said that there was this roach that crawled across the screen while he was playing. And then it's something in his mind was like, I'm not going to live like this and I'm not going to have my family live like this either.
How old? Oh, you say 15?
I think it was like 15 or
Okay.
16 or something. Because then he said that he immediately started trying to figure out, okay, how do people make money, right? And then it's like, okay, I need to go to school or to go to college, right? Because college is pretty much like the only thing back then that really guaranteed that you were going to get a pretty decent job. Might be a little bit different now, but that's
It's
another
pretty
topic.
different.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into that, but it's pretty different today.
But then he was like, okay, but I need money to go to college.
Yeah.
So how do I get the money to go to college? And then he started thinking like, okay, the military will pay for it. So then he's like, well, I guess I have to go to the military. So he just did that, gave them 4 years of his life. Then they paid for his school. And then I guess he just started networking, talking to people. Then he found out through like research, which I think was mainly through the library because it
Yeah,
wasn't really
that's
that
what
big.
they had.
Yeah, so he said he went to the library a lot, just looking up and doing research. Then he found out real estate was like a huge path of building wealth. So he just started saving up money and getting real estate properties rather than renting. He just was like, I'm just gonna save up money while I can with my parents, and then I'm just gonna buy my first property. So, and I think around the time he had me as well, which I kind of give him kudos to because I don't know if he planned it or not for me
Oh,
to come around.
oh,
But he was like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna figure it out, right?" But he never stirred off his path. So it's like even if like things happen in your life that aren't according to the plan, you just be like, "Okay, I'm just gonna stick with this and do it."
course
So he
correct.
just
Keep
ended
going.
up, yeah, buying the house, and then he was like, the only house he could afford was like in some like pretty much in the ghetto, whatever. But he stayed firm with the plan. Then when he saved up enough money, rather than selling the house, he went to go buy another house somewhere else, which was a better neighborhood. And as I was growing up, I was able to watch him do this actively, which I think brought me a lot of humility as well, because I was able to see how people kind of struggle, but then I was able to see my dad kind of make it out of that.
Yeah,
So
kind of
now,
what it looks like to be the one making moves instead of just
exactly.
like stuck.
Yes, and so I guess like subconsciously that molded me in a way to be like, if I want something, it's pretty much up to me.
Mm.
Like no one is gonna hand it to me, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, that's the biggest thing that I saw in him was just growing up and him just being the perfect father figure for showing that if you want something bad enough, just go for it.
sounds like you got a pretty good example of the dad. So did he kind of like that story when he was like 15? Did he share that story a lot with you guys about like the roach on the screen and stuff? Or
Nah, my dad's not really like an emotional talker. He's just he's like a thinker like me. But I like to ask a ton of questions. Someone's like, "Dad, what was your childhood like? Or what's this and like? What's this?" And he'll just tell me, and then I'm like, oh, "Wow!" Like, so how we were growing up, he kind of handled a lot of stuff to a point where he started to spoil us.
Mhm.
He got to a point where he was like racking in all this income from his property. He had a really nice job in the military. So it's so funny. Like I was able to see both, right? But then all my friends, they would have like dads or whatever, and they would always give me compliments like, "Man, you're so lucky. This and that. That your dad. I look up to your dad. This and that." I was like, "Why do people
Wow.
look up to? Why do people admire him?
Yeah.
And what is he doing that's different from other people?" I don't know. I love my dad.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell. Yeah, he was like a great dude. Do you have siblings? I forgot.
Yeah, I got four and then a god brother. Well, I got three and then a god brother. Yeah, we're so different though, so different. Like my dad, I don't know if he made them do wrestling and football and stuff like that, but I think he looked at me and was like, "Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I
He
wasn't
was
gonna
like,
be
try.
yeah."
He's not gonna do it.
But he's like, "The other ones are gonna make them." And I think he looked at him and was like, "Yeah, they're not gonna do chess or robotics." He just knew. I think you just know when you have kids and stuff. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
is what fits them.
Yeah. So you had siblings that were doing like the wrestling and what other sports?
Wrestling, football were the
Football.
big ones. I think that they did something else. I don't know if they did track or not. Maybe for like a little bit. But yeah, they were the active one. So we're just different.
Yeah. What? Because you weren't the active one, but now you're pretty active. You're very cognizant of your diet and your gym routines, and you're getting your steps and stuff.
Mm.
How does that translate for your siblings? Are they still active, or are they kind of transitioning into the other side, not
Uh,
active?
I would say transitioning to the other side, to be honest. Like my brother, he goes to the gym a little bit of stuff just because he has a military background. But I wouldn't say he probably goes regularly or not. I feel like the same thing is happening to him, where he's got like an office job now, and
Mm,
it
yeah.
just is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe upbringing isn't really that important. I just thought people who grew up doing sports and stuff, it was just like easy. But maybe genetics has more of a role to play in it too. Because as soon as they stopped doing the sports, it was just like the same thing happened to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. We always hear about like the quarterback all star in high school, and then high school reunion 20 years later. He's all fat,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I mean,
Mm.
I can't really speak from experience. I don't know. I haven't been to a high school reunion, but
Yeah, me
it's the
either.
kind of
I
classic
typically
example.
skip that.
Man, my oh, that's crazy.
But
2025 would be my 10-year reunion from high
Dang.
school.
Okay.
Dang, I'm feeling old.
Dude,
10 years. I graduated 2015.
you're young, man. You're young. Mine was in 2022. It's
So you graduated 2012?
11. But yeah, I remember getting something in the mail or something. I was like, I didn't even talk to them in high school. Hopefully they're doing okay. Sometimes I get glimpses of people here and there on Facebook when I like randomly just log on or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have another baby.
Yeah, or I was like, oh, you got a business now. So sometimes you'll see,
Yeah.
they all doing something different.
10 years.
Yeah, time goes
What the heck?
fast. The older you get, keeps getting faster and faster.
What is so like with my family right now, we have kind of a main group chat and then we have like a health and fitness group chat. And I kind of like instigated that. I was like took a poll. I was like, all right, y'all, if I put together this group chat, like how many of y'all would be interested in joining that and will that be helpful for you? And there's a pretty good response. I was like, all right, let me make a separate one so it's not overloading the people that don't really want to hear about it or whatever. So we have a separate one and we'll send like, links to Instagram reels or whatever, somebody talking about something health wise or supplements or whatever. Or this affects the glucose spike or whatever. So that's all the health stuff, and
Okay.
but it's also a place to kind of have like group accountability. It's not a perfect system, but usually I'll be the one to just like on every Sunday I'll be like, how did everybody do this week? 1 out of 10 on the goal that you set. I think we each have like one or two things that we want to improve on, and what's something that you want to work on this week. Just something like simple like that, group accountability.
Okay.
Do you have anything like that with like your siblings or anybody like in your family at all? Or
Nope.
yeah, but you do have that like Road to 225 group chat.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
still kind of
It ended up just being me. So, yeah, so I mean,
but you did it?
yeah, I
You
did
finished
it. Group chats are cool and all to get started, but
It's kind of hard to maintain the energy.
everyone's
Not
got to be on the
everybody's.
same wavelength, right?
Yeah.
Life just happens, priorities and stuff for the people. So,
Yeah, I know.
but
I
yeah,
only lasted like a month or two on
yeah,
me.
yeah. But I think we're like different people now. I think the hardest thing was just recording the video.
I still have
That's
my
the hardest.
before, and I was waiting for that after because
Yeah.
I don't think I'm at 225 yet.
And recording the video was probably the hardest part. It was only like a 30-second video, but I think recording the video just was getting to people.
Because you were doing that like what, every month or every week?
Yeah, so every month
Every
I
month.
would be like,
All right, you
send in
guys.
like
Yeah.
your progress video.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Something super easy, right? But I feel like a lot of people aren't really comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But like now that we're doing the December challenge, I'm pretty sure it'd be like, oh, easy, just turn on look, and just lift it and then it's done, right? But yeah, I don't know. I feel like everyone's life schedules got in the way or something. I really don't know. But yeah, I just find that group like exercise chats and stuff don't really work unless everyone is dedicated to said mission.
Or like you get out of it what you put in. What how do you stay accountable to your routines and stuff when you have life stuff happen and you're traveling, or now you got this work thing you need to stay up late on, or now you got this other thing on your plate, and it's like how do you keep from having your physical health not just kind of go on the back burner?
I'm not the best person to ask about that one. Dude, I learned that I am weak when it comes to Thanksgiving. Cheat days can like kind of linger after that first day.
Yeah, and you're like, I got
All this
a
extra
whole
food.
Costco
Yeah.
pie in my fridge. Nobody took it.
So, I don't know. It's just you be on a routine and stuff, and I feel like holidays really, for me, throw me off. Because it just gives you an excuse, like a justifiable excuse.
Yeah,
You can't.
once it's over.
Yes,
but
I
then
was
like when
talking
is it
about.
over? It kind of blends into like this 3 month haze.
Yeah, and at least for my body type, I was like doing super good, losing weight and stuff. Then Thanksgiving hit, like almost half of the progress gone, and then almost like is kind of demoralizing because you're like, I just worked like so many months to get here, and then just one like little holiday event could just get you all the way halfway back again,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh. So then I don't know, I don't know, it makes you be like, oh, what is the purpose? And you're just like, I'm just gonna keep doing whatever I'm just on doing. It is what it is. Or you buckle down and be like, Okay, maybe next time I'm gonna try. But I don't know.
It's a mind game.
It's a mind game, man. I have not mastered yet. I envy you guys with the high metabolism. Holidays just don't do anything.
I mean, like, I think my dad's always told me, like, well, once you hit like 25 or 30 or whatever, then your metabolism's just gonna slow down. And I'm sitting here like, I'm ready.
Hmm.
I think it's funny when I think it's interesting when older people like in their 30s or 40s are like, "Oh, you young kids, like you're gonna have a dad bod one day," and I'm like, "Just you wait." Like, "Oh, I'm not." I don't know what it is, if it's like a pride thing or if it's just like I just want to like prove all of them
Mm.
wrong. I want to be the 60-year-old with like
Yeah.
abs, and it
Hmm.
was just like you can see they're jacked like through their shirt. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, I've heard it so many times of like, oh yeah, well, at my age, it's harder.
Harder. I mean, do you think there's some truth to that, or it's just
Yeah, but I also think it's a lot of hiding, like
okay?
I don't know. It's a little, maybe it's like my mind's way of being like motivating itself. It's
Hmm.
like the idea of being that guy, seeing myself 60 years old out of shape, talking to a 20-year-old being like, "Yeah, I used to be in shape and now I'm fat or I'm weak or my joints suck." Like the idea of me being that guy kind of like disgusts me or frightens me or
Mm.
whatever it is, and that's something that maybe in the back of my mind keeps me accountable. Because I'm just like, I'm not gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't really know. I don't want to say that age is everything, but I also don't want to take it for granted either.
Yeah,
Because, like, who knows what they're going through at the age of 60, right?
for sure.
Like, and it's probably just difficult to even get out the bed, let alone go to the gym. But, that's it. I mean, it could be a scapegoat as well. Just blame everything on your age. But yeah, I just think like everything just doesn't work like it used to. I think I saw somewhere that 32 or something, 40 of people, it's like no one sprints anymore after that age. Like there's like a age where people just stop sprinting. And I'm like, I'm going to sprint. And like,
Yeah.
I look at the study, I don't know what it is, but I was like, I don't want to sprint. I don't know. So it's just like, I don't know how much age has to do with it. Your body just kind of shuts down. You don't really have a choice, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, but you always find outliers.
Hmm.
The 80-year-old that's like in the CrossFit gym and is
Hmm.
just jacked and like leaving all the 30-year-olds in the dust. But there's also a lot of people who took good care of their health and then just had some issues with their bones or issues with their immunity, and it's hard to put physical effort. And so there's definitely circumstances different for everybody, but at the same time, there's like if you're moderately in good health and maybe you're doing those sprints, maybe you're doing box jumps or whatever it is, and all the things that increase your bone density and getting enough protein,
Mm.
then like why not be that dude that's not necessarily like absolutely jacked and shredded if that's not what you want to look like, but
Like
like
you, Jack and Shredded.
we
I
try.
was like, is that really his back? I think you did one of the posts.
Uh,
You're like shredded, man. And I'm
it's,
like, what are his fitness goals? That's
it's just the
crazy.
lighting sometimes. but
Uh,
but yeah, like if that's not your goal to be like absolutely shredded at 80 years old, then maybe like I guess what I'm trying to say is like why not be the guy who can keep up chasing their grandkids across the lawn at 80? If that's something you want to do instead of like being on the porch like have fun,
yeah,
like I'm gonna
yeah.
be here because I hurt. Like
Hmm.
I don't want to be in that place.
Do you think it's people's choice though? I feel like I don't know. I'm conflicted on it. Like one thing I think it's easy to say when we're younger to
Mhm.
be like, just get up and go to the gym. It's up to you, whatever. But maybe it's one of those things like you're just getting gray hairs and there's no mindset, whatever you do to stop yourself from getting gray hairs. It just happens. I don't know. It's interesting though.
Yeah,
I guess only time will tell, right?
the sprinters. I still see
The 60-year-old
the
sprinter.
the people who are sprinting in their 30s.
Yeah, who's breaking all the
All the people who
scientific
didn't sprint
studies.
in their 30s, they're going to be on the porch.
Yeah. When the last time you sprinted? It's so random.
Oh.
Like just max sprinted.
I'll do like, if I go on a run, sometimes at the end, I'll do kind of like a 80% sprint. If I got like 0.2 miles left, I get like, when I'm gonna run, I get into like killer mode where I'm just like, if you told me 5 more miles, I'd be like, yep. And I would go, even though it'd be really painful. And if I've never even run that far, if you're like, hey, go run 20, I just get in this mind space where I'm like,
Mm.
pain, it's there, but like, we're gonna get through it. Yeah, sometimes I just like, I want to do just like a little bit of a sprint, even if it's like uphill or whatever. But I don't know about like 100% sprint.
Yeah, I can't remember the last made a 100% sprint. Maybe when I was, I don't know, 12. 100% is crazy. But then I started to think, even though you can consistently go to the gym, are you giving it 100%? Because sometimes I'd be like, I don't want to be here. My whole body hurts. Today is a 10% day.
Yeah, those are the days where it's like the
Yeah.
best though.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just gonna walk on the treadmill. This is a 10% day.
Yeah.
And sometimes you go to the gym, you're like, all right, I had 3 slices of apple pie. This is a 120% day.
I guess it depends on the goals too. So, but I mean, like there are a lot of benefits to sprinting, and so I guess it just kind of depends on your routine and your goals. Yeah.
That just blows my mind. Is it really that difficult to gain weight? To me, that just seems like I could do it without trying. But for other people, it's just completely up. That blows me away, man. That is such a good problem to have.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like if this is my goal and I'm here, and this is your goal and you're here,
Mm.
everybody's body working towards something.
Okay, so
We
isn't
gotta
it
like
just down
support each
to,
other.
isn't it, okay, like we're talking about, it's just science, right? An equation, calories in, calories out. If you're tracking all of your meals, it should just eat over your maintenance calories, correct? So is it like you're full or you can't,
Yeah.
that it blows me, like I just don't know.
To answer your question, at least for me, I can only speak for myself. There was a time when I want to say like maybe I don't know about 6 months, maybe like 4 or 5 months, but I was hitting consistently every day or almost every day, 3,800 calories every day, almost every day, and I got up to 157. That was the
Mm,
heaviest that I saw on the scale, and I was like lifting really heavy and all this stuff. And that's yes, I got full. Was it's also like the right kind of calories.
mm,
So if you're not prepping good meals that you're going through, like I got to like 10, 11 at night, and I'm like, shoot, I still need 1,500 calories in. What has a lot of calories? Usually stuff with a lot of fat.
mm-hmm,
And so that can kind of mess up the flow if your macros aren't right,
yeah.
or if it's like processed food, your body's going to struggle to digest it, and then you're going to have fatigue, and then you're not going to sleep as well. And if you don't get good sleep, your muscles aren't going to get repaired as well. And so it's a lot of
So like, what's the goal then? Because like someone who's trying to cut, I'm trying to lose weight while also retain muscle. But then that involves being in a calorie deficit. So it's a lot of okay, I can either work out more, put some micro motions in through my day, and then track my calories to make sure I'm staying below my maintenance calories, right? But then for bulking in my head, it's like how do I just get above my maintenance calories? And no matter what that limit is above, in my head, you should be gaining weight. If not, that means you're
I
not
guess you gotta
above.
up some more calories.
Yeah. But I'm like, there's so many calorie dense foods out there, like peanut butter, for example. You can just
That's because
have,
there's a lot of fat in peanut butter.
yeah, but like, what's the goal? Is it to see 170 on the weight scale
Yeah, but
or?
like, because I could gain weight faster, but I would not feel good because it would be
Mm.
a lot of fatty foods. So like, yes,
So
the goal is like 160, 165, but do I want to get there and be like, well, now I can't see my abs, or now I can't,
Mm.
now my arms just feel bubbly. They
Okay,
don't
so
feel
you
shredded.
want muscle weight.
Yeah, so like,
Okay.
which takes longer.
Yes, it does.
There's people out there that don't believe in like bulking and cutting. They're like, that's not it. You should just be gaining lean muscle over time. If you're eating way up here and you have way too much fat in your diet, like that's not the goal because then you have to cut. So it's
Hmm.
like, why don't you just skip the bulking and cutting and just slowly gain lean muscle, slowly gain lean
Hmm.
muscle. And so that's kind of the route that I'm doing because number one, you feel better just from like, could I do like 4,500 calories in a day? Yeah. But is it exhausting when I feel like full every day? Like, also, yeah, and so it's like I want to be able to be operational too.
Hmm.
So,
Okay, yeah, I would say building muscle is going to be a lot more difficult. Yeah. Okay, so it's a lot more than just seeing
A
uh
number on a
a
scale.
number on a
Yeah,
scale.
yeah. Body
The
fat percentage, what's the
yeah,
visceral fat look like?
that makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. So are you feeling like, I mean, maybe there's nothing you can do, right? It just takes time. So as long as it's
It
like
does
this
take time, yeah.
incremental,
Incremental, yep.
I think it might take a couple of years, right? See, I'm like
Oh
still
yeah, for
losing
sure.
it.
For sure.
But there was like this Jubilee video, and people are like, in order to put on a lot of muscle really quickly, they would do like tea or something like that.
T?
Yeah, but then there's other guys who've been working out for like so many years, and they're just like skinny fit. Is that a term?
Yeah, that's the
Where
term.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they're like, yeah, I do it all natural, and it took me years to get here. And the people respect them, like, oh, you did it natural. Then there's like that big guy, and everyone's like, oh yeah, you definitely did.
Blast a
So,
tread in 2 weeks,
yeah,
gain
yeah.
30 pounds of muscle.
So yeah, muscle is very hard. Maybe that's like a whole genetic thing too. Maybe some people are just predisposed to gaining more muscle faster than other people. Because for me, I feel like I don't really have a problem gaining muscle. I just make sure I try to get to like that 170 to 180 grams of protein a day.
Mhm.
Which I mean, I feel like it's impossible to hit that number unless you're drinking like one or two protein shakes a day.
I mean, that's a normal amount of protein shakes, I think.
Yeah, yeah. But like that don't seem natural to me, right?
Really?
Yeah, because it's like you should be able to hit your protein intake
Just food?
just through food. Why do we need something in a factory in order to hit that goal naturally, right? Unless you want to eat, I don't know, a bunch of steak and eggs all day for like 3 meals, but then like, is red meat that good for you? And then can you hit it with just a bunch of chicken? And I don't know. I don't even think anybody can eat 180 grams of protein in a day by just like eating it. I
I bet
couldn't
you
even
could.
imagine. You think so?
Yeah,
It would be big meals.
they would. I mean, like, but like you said, you get beef and maybe two of the meals. You throw in some scrambled eggs, or you have something with like cottage cheese on it. Cottage cheese is a really good hack because it's very versatile.
Mm.
You could put it. I put it on like these like caramel flavored rice cakes that I only have like 8 ingredients or whatever.
Mm.
Caramel rice cake. You put cottage cheese and then like a little bit drizzle of honey. Cottage cheese has like I don't know the exact number, maybe like 12 grams of protein for like a 3/4 cup. So if you get like two or three of those rice cakes, you squeeze it in. It's a little, it's not super heavy, but cottage cheese, you can also throw that in if you're just making like a milkshake or a protein shake. You can throw in eggs into a protein shake, cottage cheese. So like there's ways to, sneak it in.
Incorporated,
Yeah,
yeah.
even like if you were like, oh, I don't want to do protein powder, I want like food. Use use milk instead of water. You throw in some eggs in there. So there's ways to throw in some sneaky protein.
Do you think meal prepping is a luxury or a privilege? We have a lot of people crowd. They're like, "Oh, you just track your calories and meal prep and stuff like that." And but then, I mean, realistically, I feel like a lot of people are doing a lot of Uber Eats or working multiple jobs or something like that, and they just don't really have that time. I mean, I don't know. Do you think that's just a
I think Uber Eats is a luxury.
No, I'm talking about like they're using it as a form of income, like if they're doing DoorDash,
Oh,
Uber
okay,
Eats,
okay,
or
okay.
just Uber, or like all that
So they're
stuff,
just working all day,
working all
okay.
day just to make ends
Side
meet.
hustling.
But then it's like, where do you fit in the time to meal
Yeah,
prep?
I mean, I've definitely been there where it's go, 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 and it's like I'm not even it's where I have a place to store refrigerated milk and have a microwave and so even if I did meal prep, it's like there's nowhere to store it or heat it up. Or
Yeah,
it would go bad in my trunk or whatever. So I've definitely been there, case by case, I guess.
yeah. Because like, I mean, you only have to do it probably on like a Monday and then a Thursday, and then you're good to meal prep. And it's probably only an hour, but then
Yeah.
yeah, go to the grocery store, get all the stuff. And like for me, I like to get everything fresh and then meal prep it rather than freezing it. But I just did some research on that, and like really, there's no difference between frozen meat and unfrozen meat. So I
Yeah.
might just do that to save myself another trip. But yeah, I always wondered because like for me, I got a pretty decent job and stuff, but I know I'm not the like everyday type of lifestyle in America. So I'm pretty sure, a ton of people just are working crazy hours, and then by the time they're off of work, since it was so labor intensive, they don't want to do anything. They just want to go to Wendy's or something or drive to Chick-fil-A and just get something.
Yeah. I guess it kind of goes back to what you said earlier. It's like, how big of a priority is it for
Mhm.
you? How bad do you want it? Because, like, when you're inspired and you have passion about something, like if you had a wedding coming up and let's say, you're late 20s female, you got a wedding coming up, somebody invited you to, you're trying to fit into this dress, like you're gonna stay up an extra hour to
Mm.
meal prep, even if you're dead tired from working like a 14-hour shift,
Mm.
because you're like, I need to look good in this dress or I need to fit in this dress. And so it's kind of like depends on what your goals are and your passion for that goal.
Okay.
So like, I don't know. People will find a way if they want to find a way.
Yeah.
But that, there's a lot of people who are doing a lot,
Yeah,
and
doing a
it's hard
lot.
to fit it in.
I mean, that's America for you. I feel like it's probably so much easier in other countries because the
Really?
portion sizes are so much smaller. And then I feel like everything there has less crap in it.
Yeah, I would say that.
So even if you didn't have enough time to meal prep, the food that you're getting for fast food is a lot healthier for you. But I mean, then again, I don't know. Maybe it's just as bad. The same corporations, just in a different country. Maybe the food is just the same. But yeah, I've always wondered that. Is meal prepping a luxury? Do you think it's cheaper?
I think it depends on how you do it. Because I mean, like, there's like HelloFresh and all these meal prep services, and I'm like, get a coupon in the mail, and I'm like, I can get some free meals, but I
Mm.
gotta spend $400 to get it. I'm like, I gotta sign up for a 6-month deal, and I'm
Oh, that's how you get
like,
you.
that seems kind of expensive. I don't know. It depends on the food you're prepping.
See, like this is all the questions that I have in my head, right? That I always wonder what fit people think. Do you think it's trending upward, obesity in America?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I always wondered that.
I feel like there's more information and content out there and content creators for health and fitness and wellness and longevity than ever before. But it's also because there's more content creators and content out there, period, on any subject today than ever before. So it's hard to say, it's like, oh yeah, that means people are more health conscious. But does that mean there's more action being taken? But there's also all this other content out there that's random, not helpful content or just kind of like entertainment content.
I think it's just entertainment, man.
Yeah.
I think all of those content creators they get so famous and stuff because people kind of look up to them in a way or feel like they can live like vicariously through them.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I watched this fitness thing, so I kind of know, but then they don't really go out and do it themselves.
Yeah. Kind of fake themselves out. Let me watch. I gotta feel 100% educated
Yeah.
on how to get fit before I do a single push-up.
Do you think being fit makes being a content creator a lot easier?
If you're a fitness content
No,
creator,
no, no, just being fit as a content creator in general.
easier as in like more people will
More
trust
people
you,
like will log
follow
in
you.
and follow you. Do you think fitness plays a huge
I
part in
think
that? Or just the content?
attractiveness
Yeah.
is a big part for people trying to follow, but that can go like visually and aesthetically. And if let's say you're like 5 out of 10, or if you're like me, 4 out of 10, I don't know.
Cap.
But like you're really authentic and your story and all this stuff, like people love that you're vulnerable and you're showing up for them. Like that's attractive, but it's not like an aesthetically attractive thing. So I think like whether it's like you're a gym baddie just posing in your yoga pants and it's like, wow, I got 500,000 followers. Like that's a whole other subject. But like
Really, I find it the same.
but I mean, like, there's multiple types of attractiveness. Like, people follow because people are attractive. They want to know more about them. They want to learn from them, whether that's physically, or maybe like they're just like authentically and their personality is attractive. I know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there's different,
Yeah. Do you think anyone is
different attractiveness.
yeah, like do you think anyone's following
channels.
the OnlyFans model because it's like, oh, I just love her personality, the way she carries herself.
I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that are
Maybe.
doing all that do have a good personality, but I don't think that's why the majority of the people would follow them. But yeah, like if you don't look like an OnlyFans model, like, and you still have a huge following, it's because you're attractive in another way.
Yes,
I guess is
yes.
the way I would put it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Imagine it was like,
Are we streaming? Oh, we got
30 people.
we got 30 people watching. Uncut.
They're like, who's the guy in the hoodie?
Who keeps sniffling? What is that? This
Oh
guy
my goodness.
rubbing his sock in the mic the whole time.
I know they can't see, I got like
I
my
can
key
hear
here
it.
and stuff. Imagine, can you edit that out?
What is that noise? I
They're
can't
like, this
see.
podcast is so scuffed. Is that his AC?
What is
Oh
that?
my goodness.
Noise.
Man.
I feel like I was looking.
I know you got this camera back here that I've never looked at. It's just
Oh.
recording the back. Yeah.
I'm like, I hope this side shot is not.
Yeah, that was being like super awkward. It's
I
like
got,
making
you
eye
got the
time.
side beard
contact.
the entire hour.
Yeah, you got the back of the hand in this one. Maybe it's a cool angle through the fro. Hopefully it doesn't look too much like a I don't know, Teams call.
Yeah, this camera's not the best. Yes. What do I do? Do I do leave?
Yeah, no outro. It's crazy.
What do you do for an outro? Oh shoot, you're right.
No, you gotta do an outro.
Oh, you're like, thank you for watching
Or
this show.
something. You're like, thanks.
Well, that's episode 1.
That's great. My goodness. Well, thanks for having me, Ken. This was really cool. Hopefully you edit out all the awkward moments. I try to bring you my honest opinions on things.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for sharing parts of your story.
and I'm still a beginner in all this. I've only really been working out for like a year now, but I like your content and stuff, and also you help me out a lot, like figuring out some stuff within the fitness world. But yeah, maybe I'll try that creatine you keep sending me. It's
You want
like-
a scoop right now?
Yeah, it's
I
like
got some right here.
I'm like, why is he peer pressuring me? See, this doesn't affect hair growth, so you wanna. Here's another study. Golly.
I brought it up one time. You're like, you're gonna be bald. I was like, hold
I
on.
know, it's like
I'm not
the
doing
knee
that.
just stopped. I was like, okay, I get it. You like creatine.
Like, let the facts show.
Oh, my
I'm not
goodness.
gonna lose my hair.
Yeah. Would you ever do tea?
I'd have to do blood work first,
Really?
because there's a buddy of mine who did his blood work because he was really tired and stuff all the time. They're like, yeah, you have the testosterone of like a 70-year-old man. That's why your drive is down here and you're always tired. He's like, oh shoot, hormones, not lined up.
Yeah.
And so in that case, like, that's, doctors would recommend like you should do it. The problems come up when you see like these 22-year-olds with like crazy amounts of testosterone already, and they're like,
Really?
I'm trying to get jacked, and they're like, they just jump in and take more
Oh.
testosterone.
I think the range is like, isn't it like 400 to 700 or something like that? Or what's
I
the?
don't know.
There's like this
Sounds about
window,
right,
yeah. But there's probably people with already high testosterone that just go above it. And that's
Yeah.
probably one of all the issues.
Yeah.
I also heard the minute you start it, your body like slows down its own production of testosterone. So then you kind of got to keep doing it.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
all the specifics. Maybe it's like if you take too much, then your body, I don't know. And then there's a whole
I don't
other
think I could do
conversation
it.
about like it's the processed food and the microplastics that's leaving your hormones unbalanced, and all you have to do is fix your food.
There's no escaping it.
It's like
There's just no escape.
everybody's hormones are out of whack, and everybody's food is out of whack. And then every time you think like, all right, this is a good food, and somebody's like, I found this study about this. And it's just like, can we just eat?
Mhm.
Can we just eat?
Man, there's no escaping it, dude. Unless you start growing your own food,
That'd be great. That'd
Yeah.
definitely be a luxury.
Like, 'cause
That'd be great.
you can't even grow enough to sustain yourself, you know?
Get some land,
There's
have a
escaping it.
bougie like 1,000 square foot greenhouse.
Yep.
Your own grass-fed cows, pasture-raised chickens over here.
Mm-hmm.
Live off the land.
Man, I wish. I wish society would just work, you know? It's not working.
I wish society would just work.
It's just not working. It's so much effort to just keep it functional.
I wish things were just perfect.
Yeah, like, can it just work? Like, food, it should just be from the farm to your store. But why, like, shouldn't it just be harvested and then just bag it and put it into the store? I feel like they bleach it. They put it through these factories and, like, bleach out a bunch of stuff. Like, all the fiber and all the healthy stuff. I don't think rice is harvested white. I feel like it comes brown first and then they bleach it white.
So what about brown rice?
Maybe that's the unprocessed one. But I think it still goes through process. But like tomatoes, I don't think it's processed at all. You just harvest it and then they wash it and then it goes to you. But then like apples, I think they got like this wax or something on them.
Oh yeah, make them
Why
like
are you
shiny.
putting wax on them? You know?
I heard. I don't know if this is accurate. It was just one reel on Instagram. I don't know if it's credible, but he was like, "Did you know onions in the store are like a year old because they're shelf stable for like a year?"
What?
And like this apples are like 6 months. And
What?
this is like 3 months. And I was sitting there and I was like, I can't really argue with that because I don't know.
But you're like, I'm gonna
Like,
store it, and
I've had an onion on my counter for like a month and a half and it looks okay. So maybe it's true.
hey, I don't even know. That got me thinking too.
I guess you can store an onion for a year.
Just bring back coffee shops. I want to bring.
Coffee shops?
I want America. Everything, like all the bakery, all that stuff that's in the coffee shop, should just be baked there locally.
Are they super on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like so in London, I went to this coffee shop and they import all their beans probably from a trusted source, but then all of the sandwiches and products that they had up there, it didn't like get made in a factory and packaged and sent to them, kind of like Starbucks.
Yeah, Starbucks is big on that.
They would, I think they would like wake up at 4 in the morning and start prepping all this stuff, and
Wow.
they would like bake it all that day and then put it on the shelves.
I mean, there's got to be places like that in America too, right? They're just more rare.
Yeah, but like, is it cost effective? I don't know. When everybody else is just buying it at bulk for
Like, is it
forever,
affordable, you mean, for the
it
consumers?
felt like it was affordable over there, but I think the culture is just different, Like, is it, I feel like, I don't know, there's so much more work that has to go into processing it and stuff and mass producing it than it does to just home cook it and stuff. And also, if it's your coffee shop, you want to have good food there. But I feel like America lost that a long time ago. Yeah, I just enjoyed every single coffee shop I went to in London and in Paris. They just have a whole different relationship with food.
No, you should do. Once you run out of stuff for Tesla Talks, you call it like Talks.
Coffee shop.
And it's you road tripping around. Like, all right, you guys, today I found Johnson Brothers
I
Coffee.
like that.
And they make their bread in house. Check them out.
Ah, I like that. You're gonna give me the rights to it right now?
I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was like,
I don't even like
maybe.
coffee.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll find the sandwiches, man. But I'm sure
you
there's.
don't like coffee.
I don't like the
Do you
taste.
do energy drinks or something?
Uh-huh.
Oh, oh.
But I don't do soda. I do like the zero sugar. And
They're like, I don't do soda. I just do Prime. It's different.
Prime is
It's
not good.
goodness.
I'm not good.
Yeah, I have another friend who it's like, I don't do coffee. I do Celsius.
Ooh.
I'm like, these
Celsius
energy drinks
tastes like
are
battery.
Like these energy drinks are killing us. It's like one ingredient, coffee, energy, natural energy. But I don't know, maybe
Do you drink black coffee every time?
no. I do usually just put like whole milk in it. The Starbucks coffee, I'm like going in on Starbucks today unintentionally. uh, a coffee should not be 400 calories. There's no reason for a coffee to be 400 calories.
It's the chocolate syrup, whipped cream, frappuccino.
Yeah, but that's not coffee anymore. So when people
That's a
say,
dessert.
yeah, when people say, I like coffee, though you like the sugar in the coffee. You don't like the coffee.
Yeah.
Like for me, I like light roast. Dark roast is way too much for me, but light roast, I could drink that. Ooh.
Skin. I mean, light roast.
Ooh. I like to keep them. No.
I don't put them on the same counter in my kitchen. I said dark roast over here.
But it's all about the light roast. I don't know. It just goes out easier. You don't really need to add anything to it. But yeah, I mean, I'm still a big fan of coffee's not good without a little bit of cream though too. So I mean, the only thing that's stopping me from drinking the frappuccino is just the amount of sugar that's in it. Right?
Oh yeah.
If you just made a normal frappuccino, I would take it any day.
What's a normal frappuccino?
I don't really know. It's not my drink. I drink lattes. I think frappuccino is just a cold latte. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think you could just make it. All you need is whole milk and then maybe like a splash of like sugar-free caramel or vanilla or something like that. You can make it pretty good. But I just feel like everyone's just hooked on this sugar. And now the more you have it, it's like, oh, this doesn't taste sweet anymore. Yeah, I mean, coffee is always going to be the best option for energy, in my opinion. Just nothing can beat it. It's God's food. It's just
God's up there on the cloud, like you right, Leo.
yeah, exactly. Ooh, yeah. Everything that came through a lab or mass produced in a factory, you should always just have a second look at it and be like, what's the alternative to that?
That's a good rule of thumb, I feel.
But You're gonna drink a Celsius tomorrow, probably. So.
I don't like Celsius. Celsius nasty. Tastes like batteries. So many people like Celsius.
Yeah, Red Bull was a big thing in college.
Red Bull tastes worse.
Did I tell you? So in architectural school, which what I went to for college, we would have to stay up like overnight to the point where we have these studios where it's like this big room with everyone's like workstations at it, and you kind of just personalize it to be kind of your home from home. So you can like sleep there and stuff on your desk and stuff.
Sleep on the desk is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like your home away from home. It's almost like a dorm room.
Okay.
But it's just one of those things that's required in order to be an architectural student because there's so much time and effort into the designs that we create, right?
Oh.
But in order to hit them deadlines for the presentations and stuff, so many people would just be wired on just any caffeine that they can get. Like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. Like, luckily, I never liked all the Celsius and Red Bulls and all the other energy drink stuff. It never was me. Even like 5 hour energy drink shots, they'd be taking those too. All of that. I just like, as soon as the coffee shop opened, I'm like, I'm getting me this. Oh my God. And then that's what started my addiction to coffee.
Do you have like a legit coffee setup where you're like grinding your own beans like in your kitchen?
Oh, I wish,
The
man.
drip, whatever.
No,
Like, what would be the ideal setup where you're like, this is God's coffee? Like,
I mean, anybody that drinks their coffee,
because I've seen some like $10,000 coffee machines, and I'm like,
it's so expensive.
is it that good? Is it
Coffee
worth
is
it?
an art.
Like 10 grand?
It is an art. It is good, man. I think the people who are like really like serious about it, like God bless them.
Scientists, like, lab coat on.
Yeah.
Like,
It's more like the opposite of the lab coat. It's like, hey, I'm in nature and I'm feeling the chakras and energy.
no?
Those are the people.
Okay.
They would just drink their coffee black, and they probably got the whole setup where they like import the beans from some trusted source, and then they grind it up themselves, pack it up into the espresso thing, let it drip, and they just get their little espresso thing.
So, what would that look like in your kitchen? Unlimited budget, and you're like,
Oh,
this is
it'd be
the
an unlimited
best
budget.
coffee,
Dude,
most natural
I hear
coffee.
I hear Brazil has some of the best coffee. I feel like I would get.
As far as flavor or quality?
I think flavor and stuff too. I think I think they're one of the biggest imports or something, but there's probably other places you can get coffee from. I feel like a lot of it comes from Brazil, but I would get like somebody that I know that is growing their stuff just like organically with no pesticides or any of that other stuff. And then I would have them just send me like a month's worth of just coffee beans or whatever. And then I would just grind it all myself and then just go through the whole like espresso process. And it would also be good because I like my coffee with milk. So if I had like an unlimited budget, I would try to go to like a local farmer's market or something like that and just get like milk directly from,
Get a cow in your backyard.
or yeah, that and just directly from the source, dude, where it's just pasteurized there and all that stuff. That would be the perfect setup. But who knows? Not ideal. I gotta get you on coffee. I feel like the people who say that they don't like coffee just haven't had good coffee yet.
That's
Or
what I've
found their
heard.
coffee.
That's what I've heard. So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna put you on, man. Coffee shops got such a good, welcoming vibe.
They do.
It's
I do like the vibe. I like to hang out, order my like coconut milk steamer
Your
or
hot
just
water.
regular milk steamer or peppermint tea. I like the vibes.
Yeah, tea's pretty good too. I don't know how they get the caffeine in the tea though. Or maybe some teas just come with natural caffeine in it.
Yeah, green tea and black tea have caffeine, but
okay.
herbal teas usually don't.
Yeah. It's just like coffee, tea, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But you could also put
tea's
honey
like
in it.
hot flavored water.
Yeah, yeah. You could also put honey in it too, which takes it up a little bit. Honey too. Want to get some more calories in. Honey and peanut butter. At least that's what I know.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I didn't know we were going to talk for another hour, but
We got another 20 minutes.
I
in
know,
there.
I know. I got to stop. But cool, yeah. Again, thanks for having me. This
Yeah.
was super fun.
Thank you for sharing. That's episode 1. We're still figuring out an outro, but this was fun.
Thank you.
I'm excited to get to hear more people's stories. Thank you for sharing your story.
It's
Just
going to be good. Yeah.
better and better moving forward. This is the rough one,
Yeah.
hopefully.
The hardest one is the first one. Everything else is smooth sailing. Bye.